Us back here, and this is the WWE Payback 2017 review. While I'm also gonna be playing some Overwatch, so let's get right into it. I'm just gonna say overall, it wasn't bad. It wasn't definitely wasn't great. I wouldn't even say it was good. I would say it was okay. I really didn't have a lot of hope going into this event, and that's exactly what I got. It wasn't that good. If I had to rate it, an F to an A plus, I would give it a C. It really just wasn't that good. Also, Chris Jericho surprisingly was on the poster. I believe that's the final poster. So he was on the poster. I was happy to see that. I love Chris Jericho. I don't think anyone can ever hate Chris Jericho. And if you do hate Chris Jericho, you're out of your freaking mind. He will go down as one of the most respected and greatest wrestlers of all time. And he seems like just a generally nice guy, really nice guy. So we're gonna get right into the first match. Oh God, I'm dead. So we're gonna get right into the first match here. This is also live commentary, so sorry if I talk about the game really quick. First match was Enzo and Big Cass versus the Club. I predicted that Cass and Enzo would win, and they did. This was on the pre-show. And it wasn't really, it was a match. It was a Raw match. That's the best way I can describe it. It was a Raw match. It wasn't really anything special, especially being on the pre-show. And I predicted they were going to win. I didn't expect how they were going to win, but they won how they probably should have won, and that was with a roll-up. Like in every Cass and Enzo match, it's very predictable. Enzo gets the shit beat out of him in every single match they're in. And eventually he gets the hot tag, and this is exactly what happened again. I love Big Cass and I love Enzo, but their matches are so freaking, not dull, but just so predictable, So, just like here, gets the hot tag, and Cass starts wrecking house. And eventually Enzo ends up tagging back in and gets a roll-up pin, and there you go. There you go. There are your winners, is Enzo and Big Cass. The match was only 6 minutes and 35 seconds long. Holy crap, not even 10 minutes long, man. So right there, I was like, wow, what a start. I know it's the pre-show, but Jesus Christ. And then we had Finn Balor, since he wasn't on the event. He wasn't on the event, so right here we got Finn Balor in a Miz. Was it Miz TV? Yeah, Miz TV segment where the Miz calls out Finn Balor. He's his guest, and the Miz pretty much just starts trash talking him, saying, "Oh, you're so small. You're too small. I could beat the shit out of you." Which is, in wrestling these days, size really doesn't matter anymore. It's really about the athleticism and what you have in the ring. As far, obviously this is in story, so it's not like the Miz obviously means it. It's not like a shoot or anything like that. I don't know why it would be. I mean, even before WWE, Finn Balor was a huge, tremendous star in Japan. So, but yeah, he just starts talking shit about him, and Miz says, like, "Do you see who the Universal Champion is? It's Brock Lesnar. He would eat you alive. I could, beat you." And Finn kind of just like walks away. He's like, I don't need this crap. Miz keeps on taunting him, and Finn comes back in and pretty much squashes the Miz, hits him with a sling blade, hits him with a drop kick in the corner. The Miz scurries out. I absolutely hate the Miz being on Raw. I am really disgusted. I really think the Miz should get a push for the WWE title, but now that's not going to happen because he's on SmackDown. So like I ever since he went to Raw, the Miz is pretty much back to being the Miz, just being a guy who talks trash and just gets he just gets beat up all the time, and I don't know, I'm just really disgusted. I thought he was going to be John Cena, and I thought he was going to get a main event push on SmackDown, and then here we go, he's not even on the freaking card. It's a Miz TV segment, and he pretty much just gets squashed by Finn Balor. This may lead to a match, and obviously if it does, it's not going to be pretty for the Miz. So that was the pre-show. And then getting into the first match of the event. I'll wait until the end to say what my favorite match was. But this first match was Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. Match lasted 17 minutes and 55 seconds long. I predicted that Kevin Owens would win because, you know, Chris Jericho is going away pretty shortly. Very, very shortly. He's going away, probably for another, you know, couple of years until we see him again, in typical Chris Jericho fashion. And it was a very good match. I absolutely love this match. I liked it better than the WrestleMania match. And Chris Jericho actually got the surprise win. I was very, very surprised to see Chris Jericho win. And it was a good match, and Chris Jericho almost had him beat the first time with the Walls of Jericho. Kevin Owens, just like WrestleMania, just got a finger on the rope, and Chris Jericho ends up flipping the fuck out. And just starts pretty much beating up his finger, and he puts his hand in between the ring and the steel chairs, or the steel steps, and he kicks the steps, and Kevin Owens just starts writhing in agony. You know, Kevin's really good at selling, so he's just yelling. He's like, "Ah, my freaking hand!" And so that really played a big part in the match. And, you know, I kind of think of stuff like this, like whenever you do anything, I think with the steel chairs, shouldn't that be a disqualification? You know, like whenever you put a guy's foot or a hand in between the ring and the steel chairs, shouldn't that be a disqualification? I would think so, and that's probably going to play into the rematch. I'm expecting they're going to get a rematch. And so after he, you know, hurt his hand, eventually Kevin Owens ends up getting some space and tries to go for a pop-up powerbomb, and he can't do it because of his hand. And then Chris Jericho got the Walls of Jericho back in and ended up submitting him. Kevin Owens got really close to getting the ropes, and I was very surprised when he tapped out. And there we go, new United States Champion Chris Jericho. I thought for sure Kevin Owens was going to win because, you know, Kevin is on SmackDown, Chris is on Raw. Chris is going away pretty soon. But apparently this means that Chris Jericho is, I must have missed it, Chris Jericho is heading to SmackDown, probably not for long because, you know, he's going away pretty soon. But Chris Jericho, you know, wins the United States title. This time actually winning it because the first time he won, he just got help from Kevin. So yeah, it was a really good match. I really, really liked it. So continuing on, the second match was Austin Aries versus Neville. Match lasted 11 minutes and 20 seconds long. This was a really good match. You know, I was hoping it would go longer. Didn't go longer, but it was still a very good match. I really liked it. As you guys know, I'm a huge Austin Aries fan. I absolutely love Austin Aries, going all the way back to, goddamn, 2006 in Ring of Honor. Or even, you know, actually, no, I wasn't a fan of Austin Aries in TNA. His first run in TNA back in 2005. But in his second run in TNA, I was already a huge Austin Aries fan by that point because of Ring of Honor. Back when he had long hair in Ring of Honor, that's when I fell in love with Austin Aries. And he was my favorite wrestler, almost just a step right below CM Punk. So I'm a huge Austin Aries fan. I have been for a long, long time, ever since I was really 12. 12 is when I really fell in love with Austin Aries. But so that's going way back because that's 10 years ago. Whew. So yeah, this match I felt like should have gone 15 minutes long, but you know, whatever. But it was a really good match. Austin Aries definitely had the match won. He had his submission finisher, and he had him. First he hit him with a sunset flip power bomb from the turnbuckle, and Neville sold it in great Pac. I always call him Pac, but I actually call him Neville this time. Sold it very well. It was very brutal. And Austin Aries got him the last chancery, and Neville was very, very close to submitting, but he ends up grabbing the referee and pulls him over him, breaking the submission hold, and the referee calls for the freaking bell, and that's the end of the match. Austin Aries wins by disqualification, or wins by disqualification, but Neville keeps his belt. So it's like very, very dumb finish. But I know why they did it, because you know they're gonna get a rematch. You know it's coming, and Austin Aries is gonna win that belt. He is gonna be the guy who slays the king. I don't see it ending any other way. This is the second time that Neville cheaped out of keeping the title. First it was the eye rake, and now it's went by disqualification, or keeping his belt by disqualification. So that was that match. I'm dead because I was looking at my phone. Next match was the Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team titles. This match almost lasted only 13 minutes long. Again, I thought this match was going to be 15. It only lasted 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Really good match. We all knew the Hardys was going to retain. And we all kind of had a feeling that Cesaro and Sheamus were going to turn heel. I didn't think they were gonna. I also said that the Hardy Boys were gonna win. I forgot to mention that. And I also forgot to mention I thought Austin Aries was gonna win. Which technically he did. He just didn't win the title, so. But yeah, we all can probably predict that the Hardys were gonna win this. Exactly what happened. The Hardys won. They're kind of teasing Cesaro and Sheamus, heel turn. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but they did. They kind of messed up with the finish. Not really messed up, but they mistimed it or something happened where Matt Hardy was supposed to get, or Jeff was supposed to tag Matt Hardy on the back to tag himself in after Sheamus threw Matt Hardy into the corner. And so Jeff Hardy was kind of waiting on the top turnbuckle, waiting to get the tag in, and it never happened. And so Jeff had to run back over to... It might have been because Jeff was in the wrong corner. You had to be in the right corner to tag back in. So Jeff had to run all the way back to the other corner to tag back in. Sheamus hit Matt Hardy with... it wasn't bro kick. I think it was just a power slam. Braun Strowman power slam, I believe. Or actually, it might have been that move from the top turnbuckle. Yeah, it was. It was that move from the top turnbuckle, I believe. I forget what it's called, but Sheamus usually does it. And I remember Fit Finley also used to do it. So he hits him, but then Jeff Hardy jumps from the top turnbuckle, hits him with the Swanton right on the back, pins him 1, 2, 3. They shake hands. Cesaro and Sheamus walk out of the ring. Matt and Jeff are posing. They're on the top turnbuckles with their belts, holding them up in pride and glory. And then Sheamus and Cesaro come back in and beat the living crap out of them. Really, I mean, if Jeff Hardy didn't get the crap beaten out of him before, I forgot to mention, Sheamus hit Jeff Hardy, literally hit him right in the freaking mouth with his shin when Jeff Hardy was on the ground. It's just one of those things that happens in wrestling. You don't mean to do it, but sometimes you just don't know how much force you're actually putting into your kick, or you miss it. You're supposed to hit him like maybe in the shoulder or something, and Sheamus totally missed. Him right in the freaking mouth, and lost a tooth. Jeff Hardy lost a tooth. Came flying out, and yeah, he's gonna have to go see a dentist. So that happened, and somehow Matt Hardy got split open. So it was a bad night for the Hardys, but they did keep the tag team title, so I guess it wasn't too bad. But yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro turned heel. Very upset about it because I love Cesaro. I want to see nothing more than a world title on Cesaro one day. I've been a huge fan of him ever since he was Claudio Castagnoli back in Ring of Honor, Jakara, all those promotions. So we'll see especially how Claudio and Chris Hero, back when they used to be a tag team, I really do believe that is one of the best tag teams of all time. Is Chris Hero, the kings of wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. But they turn heel. This might mean maybe they'll get the tag team titles. Maybe they'll get a rematch and get the tag team titles. Probably not. I don't know how long this is going to stay for. They got to stay heel for a while. I'm a little upset about because it's Cesaro. Sheamus, I think, is a better heel. But it is what it is. Hardys retain. Next match was Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the Raw Women's title. I predicted, even though this was in Bayley's hometown in San Jose, I predicted that Alexa Bliss was going to win the title, and she did. Alexa Bliss won the title and becomes the first ever woman, first ever woman to win both SmackDown and Raw tag team title. Not Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, first ever time to win both titles. So that was probably the most surprising thing. But I did predict it was going to happen. I predicted it was going to happen even in her hometown because I think they're a huge fan of Alexa Bliss. They're really big on her. WWE is, and so are the fans, and they gave her the belt, and I think it was a good idea. Bayley had the title for a while, so I think it was the right move. So Alexa Bliss is your champion. How she won. Really, the turning point of the match was that I think Bayley was going for a pin. and I think Alexa Bliss kicked out, and that drove Bailey's head right